XRP is on a roll. I got some new information looking at a multiplier effect for the XRP ledger over 270X on this $61 million that just got brought into the network. We're also going to play clips from Trump talking about why Americans should be bullish on markets. We also had some stuff from Paul Atkins and the SEC. We also got a ton of Ripple and XRP news. I got Brad Garlinghouse. I got Charles Hoskinson. I got Travalia and so much more. Let's go ahead and better understand this. We had XRP at $2.49. So here is the multiplier effect that people are sleeping on, which I think this helps us get to where we need to go way easier. Ever wondered how much money it takes to cause a $16.6 billion increase in XRP's market cap? Since I am tracking every trade on all major spot exchanges, I have the exact figure. 61 million USD. That's the net market buying pressure over the last 13 hours. So 61 million USD gave us 16.6 billion increase in market cap. So what type of multiplier are we talking about here? When we asked Perplexity, the market multiplier in this scenario, 61 million equaling 16.6 billion, is a 272x multiplier from actual value going into the asset on how much their market cap. So now that we know that over 120 billion have gone into Bitcoin ETFs, you start to wonder, are we going to see maybe 1/5 of that going into XRP? If we got $20 billion in spot ETFs that come into XRP with a 272x multiplier, that would give us a $93 per token XRP. It is not going to be hard to get there, ladies and gentlemen. This is $20 billion. Imagine if we added 1 trillion. Where would we be then? Wow. All right, let's keep it going. So we got Trump here. This is something that he brought up last week, late in the week. He's saying, please, basically that him and his administration, I'll have him tell you.
You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. You know, if we get that. If you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to.
All right, so he just kind of goes and rattles off against Democrats. I don't know what is going on here, but obviously Trump believes that the market is about to take off. Looking at the financial data over the last few months, it can go either way. If we don't get a deal with China very soon, and I know they've been working on that, that could really have catastrophic consequences. We're already seeing ports and things like that getting a 30 to 40% less container ships showing up. So that's 35 to 40% less goods that are coming into the country. This will take a toll eventually, but if they can get a deal with China signed and the boats can start landing again and dropping off goods, that will fuel an incredible market. Obviously, lowering rates would probably do us wonders. They're going to print money again. That is going to be inflationary, but the next few years should be record years for the American economy. Remember, before Trump got into office, the American economy was one of the strongest it had been in quite some time. So Trump inherited a really good economy. He can continue it and really start to grow this thing. And then he can have a legacy of leaving something really incredible for his children. So the White House is reportedly exploring wider adoption of XRP with more meetings planned between Ripple reps and officials from the Trump administration. Ripple forecasts XRP ledger to hit $3 and $5 by 2020. Ripple forecasts $3 to $5. What? $3 to $5 trillion market cap. Okay, that'd be a whole lot better.
A top priority of my chairmanship will be to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through a rational, coherent, and principled approach. We will work to ensure that the United States is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and to do business. So, Mr. President, again, thank you very much for your graciousness in extending some.
It is really nice to see regulators starting to embrace the crypto industry. I know there's always been people like Hester Pierce that have been bullish about the crypto industry, but were held back due to the Biden administration. I'm so glad that has ended. Man, there's some really cool things that can happen over the next 6 to 12 months if we can just get all of this trade stuff figured out and this tariff stuff and really calm the economy back down. The growth could be enormous. Here's SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. It says tokenization cannot reach its full potential without legal clarity. Let me play this.
Tokenization cannot reach its full potential without legal clarity. Issuers and transfer agents continue to be unsure about whether a crypto network can be the master security holder file or a component thereof for purposes of the Exchange Act's transfer agent's rules, and even where state law has expressly provided or contemplated the use of a crypto network in connection with the maintenance of securities ownership records. Further, the Commission's special purpose broker-dealer statement, which defines crypto asset security to encompass any security.
Listen, they need Congress to work together to pass legislation. Regulators can only do so much, but regulation has to come from Congress and from the Trump administration. RippleNet depends on XRP, as one might expect. XRP is by far the most used currency on the ledger in terms of payment volume. So here is the diagram here. You have XRP being used, between all of these different exchanges and other receivers. And then here are some other assets below. And then it says, as one might expect, XRP is far by the most used currency on ledger in terms of payment volume. This is 125 billion XRP in 7 months, or 586 million XRP per day. And then looking at the growth, XRP has added nearly 100 billion in market cap since Ripple's first major SEC win. So that has been an incredible growth for Ripple over the past, 10 months. And they also have Brad Garlinghouse was on Fox late April. Let me play this.
Markets like Japan, I think, are still unlocking. The market opportunity here is massive. You have trillions of dollars flowing cross-border globally. It's still largely dominated by the SWIFT network, if you will. And that's architecture. That's a technology architecture that's developed 50 years ago. There's an opportunity to modernize. That takes time, particularly when you have a government in the U.S. kind of combating that innovation. But that's changing now. The Trump effect, if you will, is profound. You're seeing that in asset prices, but you're also going to see that in the adoption of these technologies.
Yeah, and I think so. When you're looking at the growth story then of Ripple, does it still come from overseas? Or are you expecting a change in terms of domestic interest in Ripple?
Well, we're definitely already seeing a change in the domestic interest. The 6 weeks after President Trump was elected, we signed more deals in the United States than we had in the previous 6 months. So these are very innovative technologies. I think they're going to play out over 10, even 20 years in terms of how they integrate and rewire the financial infrastructure of the United States. That's across payments. That's across even the settlement of maybe real estate transactions, securities transactions. So I think we're going to see this play out over a long arc. But the United States is finally unlocked. And I think people are underestimating how big that change is. And you'll see that continue to play out this year.
I think people definitely are underestimating how big this is going to be. And a lot of people just don't understand it, or they don't care to understand it. And once all of this stuff really starts taking off, they're the ones that are going to be left behind. So it says critical XRP update, key resistance levels are approaching, pushing above 264 and rapidly reaching the resistance of 269, which is basically the 0.236 fib retracement and the all-time high with key level. So if we can get past maybe this $2.69, that could be the key resistance to break us out above $3. And that could be incredible. Here's Charles Hoskinson basically telling us the growth on Cardano is going to come from XRP. Listen to this.
When we look at the next 5 years, our big area of growth is likely going to come from XRP and from Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because we can do things for them, and that's a win-win. And when you add that together, that TVL is going to be 4 times larger than Ethereum and Solana combined.
Ethereum and Solana combined, 4 times larger. That means XRP and Cardano are going for some major price discovery here over the next few years. Please pay attention. Here he goes. Travalia now accepts SRP as a source of payment for booking hotels and flights. I don't know anybody that is going to be looking to spend their XRP right now on this. Obviously, if XRP goes and does some stupid numbers and people are trying to cash out, then I can see people using this to spend XRP. But right now, I'm saving all my XRP. Constant development of some upcoming XRP ledger heavy hitters, lending and borrowing and token escrow. These are about to be fully pushed through. Here is the amendments: XLS 0066D lending protocol and XLS 85D token enabled escrows. I'll bring you more up to dates when we have them. And here's Edward Fino with an update around XRP.
You want to get rich out of XRP? I'm gonna tell you the secret sauce that nobody's talking about. It's not staking, it's not trading, it's not buying meme coins on XRP. So what it is? You don't need to be intelligent, you don't need to be a trader, you don't need to have $1 million in your bank account and drop all of that on XRP. But you do need one thing. That's what nobody's telling you. You need to have some balls. That's right. You need to have cojones. Se hombre. So let me break it down. I do have people asking me if they should sell their XRPs now because we have a minor correction. That's the fastest way to be priced out. Think about the ones who sold XRP at 50 cents. Think about the ones who sold XRP at 70 cents. History has shown us that XRP moves very fast. The easiest way to get rich out of XRP is to have some cojones. It's simple. First, you need to buy it. Second, you need to hold it. And third, you need to have cojones, because that takes courage to see your money going up and going down.
All right. We don't need to listen to the 3 minutes of that. You understand that to make money, you need to be able to see an end goal here of what you're trying to get to. If it's just trying to make $1 and get out and not have to worry about what's going to happen over the next few years, some people are going to do that. People like myself, I'm not here for $2, $5, or $10. I am here for all the money. All right. And I might not get all the money, but if we can get $500 or $1,000 per XRP or $2,000, whatever, I'm good. I'm done. I could make content for the rest of my life, live in a very nice place here in Hawaii, and just hang out with you. Like that is my goals for the next 5 to 10 years. Make a gazillion dollars trading crypto, and then live the rest of my life, however long that is, in luxury. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. And, to do that, you need to be able to identify the technology that's going to be used on a massive scale. Buy, hope, and praying can't hurt. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for being here. Hope you liked it. We just hit 90,000. Let's go. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for your time. And it's just an honor to be here and to grow with you. I'll see you guys. Aloha.